Okay, so this was a little trick that I found for making somewhat translucent font work in PS. I can't say that it looks exactly like PSP. I can't say that it looks like what you can get in Photoshop because it doesn't. But depending on the av and the colors I work with, I have varying degrees of success with this. So it was just an idea I thought I'd share. So if I say wanted to put my name on here, I already played with this a bit, so you're going to see a little bit of what I did. I picked a color, one of the little bit darker colors in the av, and just made it a normal font. What I would do now is I would duplicate that layer before I do anything else, because if you've ever noticed, like once you enter bevel text or you drop shadow on it or anything, you can no longer manipulate the text. It changes it from a vector layer to a raster layer and makes it so you can't adjust it anymore. So I duplicate it while it's still clean, and what I do is I flip it so that what I had as the inside color is now the outside color. You don't have to use the same color, you could even go to a darker color, but the point is you want to have an outline where of the same exact stuff, letters in the exact same position. So you'll want to put it where you're going to want to keep it, because you can't always merge these layers and keep the effect. So just keep that in mind. Put it where you want to put it, size it the way you want it to be, write it out, then duplicate it and swap that second layer to be an outline with a transparent inside. So now I'm going to go back to the layer that I had written my name in to start with, and I'm going to go ahead and inner bevel it to give it a little bit of 3D, right? And I use a high smoothness factor. I use 50. That gives it a nice rounded look. Now here's where it comes into play. I changed this from a normal layer to something else, often soft light. So you see with soft light, I kind of lost my inside color altogether. So I might look at other layer types. I might try hard light and see that gives me a little different look. Luminance. So you see you can kind of get different looks. What I sometimes do is I say, well, I like hard light, but it's still not quite enough. So I'll duplicate that layer a second time, and that makes it more intense. Or I might change that second layer type to be something else. So this is multiply. Here's the luminance ones, color. So say I kind of like the look of multiply, and again now this is getting away from that translucent look, but you can see how you could achieve it. Then I back off the opacity until I get the look I want. Now you see I did the outside one with the darker purple, so that's why it looks distinctly different. A lot of times I don't want to do that. I just stick with that original color that I used. So like I can go back here and change it back. So now my outline is just in the same color that the inside was, just darker, right? And on that layer I can do a drop shadow to make it more noticeable. But you notice how that almost makes the inside now look flatter. So
Mommy,
sometimes...
Mommy, too. I can make a diamond one.
Hold on, right there.
It's okay, Diane.
Sorry. If I go to the lighter outline, you get a little different look. And pretty much I just kind of play around with it until I get the look I want. And every once in a while it'll just pop and I'll be like, yes! But, you know, not always. Anyway, so that's just an idea of something you
Go
can
to
do.
Google.
Tanner, you need to hold on a second. So, I'm just going to go back to a light color. So anyway, that's one way to start to kind of get that look where it's almost translucent. And again, like I said, I have varying degrees of success depending on what color I start with, what color I am working on, and I just play around with it. But I find that those different layer types can be helpful.